As a leader, how do you create an inspiring vision that the whole team will buy into? This is an essential quality of the effective leader. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad, bringing you our fourth session on leadership in Project Eli to educate, lead, and inspire. And without further ado, let's continue with how to inspire your troops now that we've discovered that inspirational leadership is superior to manipulation leadership. Once again, my words are enhanced by the wisdom of Simon Sinek, my mentor from afar. If a vision is compelling enough to other people and is clearly and meaningfully communicated to them constantly, the chances are good that they will be motivated to do their part toward making that vision a reality. Organizational and individual goals will be set as increments toward the eventual realization of the vision. Generally, the organization's vision is determined by its leaders. All true leaders have visions. They know where they're going and they have a pretty good idea of how to get there. And in time, they will get there. These leaders are able to empower others to set goals that coincide with theirs. They allow other people to envision, in their own way, the visions of the leaders. The basic purpose of a leader can be stated as dreaming a dream and then making it come true. In other words, a leader should develop a clear and worthy vision that will motivate other people. And then he or she must maintain focus on it and oversee the work as that vision is transformed into reality. Now, you must constantly expect to inspect and inspect to expect. What this means is that it must be clear what you, the leader, expects the results to be. And you must continually inspect while the project is moving forward that you are getting those results. Eli, I had a sign in my office prominently placed that simply said, expect to inspect and inspect to expect. Remember, feedback is the breakfast of champions. A corporate vision statement must be something we can see in our mind's eye. That's why it is called a vision, because we need to be able to see it. A good vision statement explains what the world would look like if everything we did was wildly successful. Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream that one day little black boys and girls would be able to sit down and hold hands with little white boys and girls as brothers and sisters. And we can imagine that. We can see what that looks like. And if we find that vision inspiring and worthy of our time and energy, then we can more easily plan the steps we need to achieve that vision. Leadership is a total commitment to purpose, along with the persistence to see it through. Leaders should be able to judge the progress of a vision. They must ask, where is the organization now in relation to its goals, and where should it be? This means that leaders must have the ability to focus on the long term as well as the short term. Success is more likely when individuals at all levels of the organization also can see the short-term and long-term goals and effects of what they're doing. This requires constant feedback. Leaders must also be able to adapt their visions as needed to remain relevant in a changing world. Adaptability can be one of the true tests of leadership because most people resist changing the status quo. Visionary leaders anticipate change, then position their organizations to meet it. These changes often involve risks, but leaders welcome risk and encourage followers to accept the challenge. As a leader continues to develop a vision, he or she must keep in mind the benefits of other opinions. A dissenting view should not be taken as a personal attack, but as information to be considered and perhaps incorporated into the vision. To develop the vision, we must not only listen to those that disagree with us, but seek them out. We have to find out what other points of view are all about and take them seriously. Of course, those points of view should not deter the leader that truly believes in a vision, even when others cannot be convinced. What is one's reason for existing? The answer will inform one's vision, which in turn can be communicated through a vision statement or a mission statement. In making a mission statement, what is essential? Are there any traps to avoid in making such a mission statement? There are two basic essentials. First, that there is some kind of sense of what you're about, with a clear picture of the end product in mind. Call that the vision. Then, the sense of how you go about it. That's the value system. Now, hopefully those values are based upon natural laws or principles because they are timeless. That is essential. You write a mission statement so that it is timeless, that it will never change. In fact, as you mature, it may evolve and change as your consciousness and your awareness grow. But you write it as if it will never change. You should also deal with all stakeholders and all four needs: the economic need, the relationship need, the growth and development need of people, and the need to add value or make a difference. We call these to live, to love, to learn, and to leave a legacy. The main traps to avoid are these three. Number one, don't announce them. Number two, don't rush them. And number three, don't ignore them. In other words, they shouldn't just come from above, from the corporate Mount Olympus, and then they're announced. They shouldn't be rushed. Everyone should be involved in the process, and the process is as important as the content. Once they are developed, they should be used like a constitution, as the supreme law of the land by which all decisions are made. So how do you keep visions from becoming dogmatic? By involving everybody. Now, the initial vision may come from one person and from the unique gift of that one person. That person needs to cultivate a relationship through example and through modeling and mentoring so that there is identification with that person's vision. In this way, people will buy into it as if they themselves had developed it. Identification is as powerful a psychological process as involvement is. And if there is great respect for the visionary and the buy-in to the vision, it becomes as if it is your own vision. How do you synergize the vision among all employees? Well, there are many ways to do this. The key thing is that they are informed about what the reality is both in and out of the industry. That is, in the economy as well as in the business. And that they feel that they are a part of the process. It's kind of a top-down, bottom-up approach. Or you can have a bottom-up, top-down approach. You could develop a rough first draft mission statement, send it to everybody and say, this is the best that we could do, but we don't have your input. We need your input. What do you think? What are your views? And when that input comes in, respect it. Adapt the mission statement accordingly. Little by little, people will start to say that the decision makers are sincere, and then the labor force will gradually buy into it, particularly when they know that it will pertain to everyone and that no one is exempt from it. Once the vision is shared, how does the leader sustain it? By living by it, himself or herself. No one is above these natural laws or principles. They ultimately control, not the so-called boss. So the boss has to model it, live by it, admit mistakes when the boss doesn't live by it, and then articulate it. Be the courageous spokesperson. Let it be the criterion by which all decisions are ultimately made. Leadership. Make the mission a team effort. People support what they themselves create. Now let's summarize this lesson with a quick review of everything that we have learned so far. You begin your leadership journey by assessing the situation that you have to work with, both people and materials. You then set up your hierarchical structure of leaders. If you have people that are worthy of a leadership position, then you insert them into the appropriate box in your structure. If you need a leader and you don't have someone that has earned the position, you insert a smiling face in that spot and make adjustments as necessary. You may have to share that spot with an inexperienced individual yourself to get the job done. Mentor that person via the PESOS system until they can occupy that box in your structure alone. If you see that the person you initially inserted is unable to do the job, then you must insert a new smiling face. The people that you have around you must be a united front and competent. Remember that an organization can advance only as far as its leadership will take it. Therefore, your job as the leader is to serve those that you lead. The more you help them grow, the more the organization will grow. To help your leaders grow, it's necessary to inspire them. You accomplish this in a number of ways. One way is to give promotions based on performance. As their skills and productivity increase, both they and the organization make progress. Progress is the adrenaline that begets more progress and momentum. Seek to work with the thoroughbreds, not the grazers. Your organization will get 80% of its production from 20% of the people. Spend most of your time with the 20% that produce the 80%. Without a vision, the people perish, and so will your organization. It is imperative that there be a worthy, sizable, long-term vision. It is essential that you get your people to buy in and be all in on this vision. You do this by having them help create the vision themselves. People will work passionately for something that they themselves helped create. It's called pride of ownership. As the leader, you must sustain the vision by making it the constitution of your organization. It is achieving the vision of the Constitution that is the law of the land, and not the so-called boss. Your job is to keep that vision alive every day as creatively as possible. Use visuals like the torch the United Fund colors in as progress is made, or posters, or awards, or recognition. Mostly, though, you must give feedback, the breakfast of champions, every day. Inspect to expect and expect to inspect. Be a good finder. Catch people doing things right. Your blood type is B positive. Mark Twain once said, "I can live for 2 months on a good compliment alone." Typically, positive feedback outnumbers negative feedback by at least 6 to 1. Remember, when you have your people focused on the dream, the universal laws of success will work for them and you, whether they are using them consciously or unconsciously. Be sure to continuously track your team's progress. If you're getting the results you expect, make sure you give compliments. If you're not getting good results, re-examine the process to determine the source of the unsolved opportunity. Then, with your team, figure out a way to solve the issue. When you do solve it, be sure to compliment everyone personally for their effort. Your goal is to get the train going 100 miles per hour and create momentum. That will help you bulldoze over small bumps in the road and stay the course. Your job is to organize the game plan, train, maintain the proper focus on the goal, take detours as needed, pat people on the back in public, and refocus those that need a kick in the butt, but always correct or scold people in private, never in public. Your job is to continually coach the team to victory. As your coach, Eli, I'm repeating myself because repetition means retention. If you need to go back and look at our previous leadership lessons for review, do so now before we move forward. And speaking of moving forward, our next session will look at some common scenarios that leaders frequently encounter and how to respond to them. To be certain you receive the next communique, remember to subscribe and ring the bell. Don't forget, as always, to review the description box and to recommend this series to others that may find it useful. Our thought for the day is from Alvin Toffler. Only by putting your daily activities in the context of the big picture will you be able to stay on target. You've got to think about big things while you're doing small things, so that the small go in the right direction and become meaningful. And because we never end a meeting on a philosophical note, get out there and charge. I'm Eli's dad.